Strasbourg, July 1518. In the heart of the Holy Roman Empire, it is a summer of sweltering, unforgiving heat. A city of commerce and faith, accustomed to the rhythms of hardship, famine, disease, the turning of the seasons. But on this day, a new rhythm is about to emerge. One that will defy all reason and consume the city whole. It began, they say, with a single woman. Alone in the square, she danced, silently, ceaselessly, as if compelled by something unseen. Her name was Frau Trophäa, and at first her neighbours simply watched, bewildered. But she did not stop, not for the setting of the sun, nor for its rising. Hour after hour, day after day, she danced. This was not a performance of joy. It was an ordeal. Her body a prisoner to this endless silent motion. The spectacle drew more and more people. The initial curiosity curdled into alarm. What had taken hold of this ordinary woman? The city officials, unnerved, consulted the city's physicians. Their diagnosis, based on the medicine of the time, was hot blood, a natural illness. And their cure? Astonishingly, it was to encourage the dance, to build a stage, to hire musicians, to help her dance the fever out of her system. But the city's strategy backfired, with terrifying speed. The sight of the dance, amplified by the hypnotic music, acted as a trigger. Within days, dozens joined her. The affliction leaped indiscriminately. A visual and emotional contagion passed from one suggestible mind to the next. By week's end, the city square had become a stage of suffering. Bodies moving without rest, as though reason itself had fled. The city officials, who had hoped to manage a single case, now faced a full-blown epidemic of movement. Realizing their terrible miscalculation, the authorities reversed course. The diagnosis shifted from the medical to the supernatural. The stage was torn down. A ban on all public music and dancing was proclaimed. The new cure was to be penance and prayer. The clergy declared the dancers were afflicted by a divine curse, sent by Saint Vitus. The only hope was a pilgrimage to his shrine. But this grim journey only worsened their condition. They danced until their feet were raw, until their bodies began to fail. The rituals failed. The dancing did not stop. Chroniclers reported that up to 15 people were dying each day from heart attacks, strokes, and unrelenting exhaustion. What could drive hundreds to dance themselves to death? For 5 centuries, scholars have offered theories, yet none could explain the rhythm that consumed them. One of the most compelling theories points to a poison, ergot, a fungus that grows on damp rye, the very grain used to make their daily bread. When ingested, its compounds, one of which is used to create LSD, can cause convulsions, muscle spasms, and vivid hallucinations. But the theory is not a perfect fit. Witnesses describe dancing, not merely random convulsions, and ergotism is typically debilitating. Furthermore, contemporary accounts fail to mention other key symptoms of ergot poisoning, such as gangrene. The poison fits, but it does not fit perfectly. If not a poison, perhaps we must look to the mind, to the theory of mass psychogenic illness or mass hysteria. The city was a pressure cooker of anxiety, plagued by years of famine and disease. The population was psychologically fragile. In this state, the sight of one person's strange ordeal could act as a powerful trigger, a contagion of behavior passed from one suggestible mind to the next. The dance becomes a desperate release valve for unbearable stress, a physical manifestation of a trauma shared by the entire community. Their flailing limbs become a desperate language for a pain that has no words. Finally, we must not forget the immense power of faith. A third theory interprets the plague through a religious lens. Perhaps the dancers were part of a forbidden sect, practicing ecstatic rituals to connect with the divine, a ritual that spun tragically out of control. But the accounts from Strasbourg do not describe joyful worship. They describe a chaotic, frightening affliction, with victims appearing to be in agony. Perhaps the truth is not one single cause, but a complex interplay, a perfect storm, a biological agent providing the fuel, collective trauma creating the spark, and the social reaction fanning the flames. And as swiftly as it began, it ended. By early September, the rhythm that had gripped Strasbourg began to falter. The music stopped, the dancers fell. One by one, their bodies surrendered to an exhaustion that could no longer be denied. And Strasbourg, once alive with movement, returned to stillness. A silence that felt both welcome and funereal. The city was left to reckon with the aftermath, to care for the broken survivors, and to count the dead. 5 centuries later, no cause has ever been proven. The plague departed as it had arrived, without explanation. Only a reminder that the mind, like the body, can be swept away by forces we do not yet understand. The story endures, its power to mystify undiminished. A locked room in the annals of history. In every age, humanity finds itself caught between faith and fear. The dancing plague reminds us, sometimes the rhythm of history is one we cannot control.